it's just great to see that and to hear that. And so hopefully we will continue to shepherd him.
I'm sure you will. Yeah. I'm sure you will. You got two good parents. I mean, all the statistics, right? You got out of school. And you guys, were you dating in school?
We were.
You were, okay.
We were, yeah.
So for the listening audience, so Bradley and I have actually met at Shorter University, but he was not in my classes. I was an accounting professor there, and he was like all the sports accolades, all of the academic accolades. All I knew is that every scholarship and grant and everything was going into his pocket. Ooh. And so I was like, man, I got to be that guy's friend. Afterwards, but I did have his wife in class, and the story is Bradley. Go ahead, tell the story.
So Annie, I think she only had A's and B's while she was in college, and I think it was a C. It was a C for an exam she turned in late, I believe, our listeners. And I remember telling her that I was going to start working with Dr. Naddy, and she said, he's the one that gave me that C. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. He said I was turned the exam in late and all this stuff. So she kind of didn't like him. She still brings this up when his name comes up.
Every once in a while, it's we do what we do. She's a sweetheart, and she's in human resources, right?
Yes.
So taking care of all the other children at the office.
Yes. Babysits adults all day.
Dude, is human resources the weirdest position ever?
It is, man. Some of the stories that I hear from her, we're
talking about adults.
Yeah, adults
that just like all of a sudden, that book, there was a book a while back that got a lot of fanfare. It's probably still a bestseller, about everything I need to know I learned in kindergarten. Legit, you could just make that your HR policy, and you say, I'm just expecting a 40-year-old to act like this, and they do. So HR professionals really do need a hug every once in a while, but you can't give it to them because that's against policy.
Against policy,
right? Yeah,
correct.
So it's like when you put your arm around, you have to have that fist out instead of the flat hand. You got to be careful, man.
You have to be careful these days.
Oh man, yeah.
People are always ready to file suit on you.
They are. We live in a very litigious society. And I know some lawyers.
Yeah.
They're nice people, but man, I'll tell you what, they're the first ones it's like, hey, I think you might be able to get some compensation off this.
It's the first thing.
What is your deal, man? Go chase another ambulance.
I was disrespected. You can hear from my lawyer.
That's it.
Immediate.
That's right. Well,
don't they know anything about what happened? They're going straight.
I emote on my shirt, and he says that it's like, that's an interesting shirt, and all of a sudden it's like, that's sexual harassment. It's like, no, whoa. It says, I eat cat feelings. Like, oh, that's interesting. So how are you feeling today? It's really strange that the generation that's coming up behind. Now they have had some interesting things to overcome, like the internet, very, very well-off parents.
Sure.
All of these things that we would call entitlements.
Correct.
But every once in a while, so there's this thing going around right now on Instagram. It's probably not now. I just kind of launched into this thing. Is this thing about respecting Gen Xers, because Gen Xers were the latchkey kids. They were the ones that their parents, there were no cell phones, so you left in the morning and you came back at the end of the day. We drank from water hoses. Like, it's all these things that you're like, of course, when I say this, I laugh because like this is exactly what it's like. My parents said, be home before the street lights turned on.
Correct.
Well, in Florida, you had these, when in the summertime, those street lights didn't come on until like 8:30. So as I'm riding my bike home as fast as I can, it goes bink. I'm like, oh no, just getting there. So no, they would never know. I would just have to call my mom from like my buddy Jason's house. Like, yeah, I'm at the Petros. Okay, how long are you gonna be there? I was like, probably the rest of the day. She had no idea. I'd go to the beach. I'd be in the woods somewhere. I'd be like crawling through ditches, whatever. And we ended up making it. So the whole helicopter parent thing is funny to me. They have to deal. This generation,
you gotta let them suffer.
Has helicopter parenting, and I think that's the problem.
You gotta let them suffer. That's a whole podcast right there.
That is a whole podcast. In fact, we might put that one on our BS podcast. Yeah. So just so you know, the way that this podcast actually breaks down. So we have business, biceps, and BS. Now,
okay.
in the case, like if you didn't see the logo or something,
That's
by the way, that
nice.
guy's jacked.
Jacked.
So,
25 inch.
so what's it? 25? Yeah. I'm going 18 and a half.
18.
Right here, baby. So so the idea is like you have some business,
Okay.
and because we do CPE for financial professionals and
Okay.
accounting professionals, and so a lot of the times we try to look for a financial tangent to things,
Sure.
but it's not necessary, because what I'm trying to get out there to just the general public and to finance and accounting people is that we are more interesting than just accounting entries.
Correct.
And so when I have people like yourself come on and you actually look like you like me and CPAs in general,
Yeah.
it's like we are cool. We are cool.
They are people. They are.
But so the business is kind of like where we talk about anything business. It can be economics, can be legal, it can be the stuff when Boyd was on weeks ago. We would talk about the legislation that he got passed through the state government that is like groundbreaking legislation for accountants, and so it's business oriented. The Biceps stuff, though, you can't have, like, they always talk about work-life balance.
Sure.
I really want to switch that around and do life-work balance, because
Correct.
we really do. We go to work to support the lifestyles that we have.
Correct.
And so if you look at it and you say, well, if you're just talking about business, how boring is that? Because everybody does business all day long.
Correct.
So let's talk about some fitness stuff. Let's talk, because that's part of my life. That's part of your life.
Correct.
Which we're going to get into. But I kind of say Biceps, one, because anytime you walk around and someone goes, damn, it's like, what kind of supplements you eating? Like, first of all, cool mustache, bro. It's like, well, here. So we're talking with Redcon One right now,
Okay.
and they're like, yeah, we're gonna come in, we're gonna sponsor your show, so you can have a protein supplement to give out to people. So there might be something in the future. There might be something right here, some product placement, if you will.
Of course.
But it's not gonna be egregious. But if you see me in person and you're like, hey, dude, what's that supplement you talk? And I don't pull something out and give it to you, that's shame on me.
Correct.
Because I'm trying to get people to live a healthier lifestyle.
Correct.
You can be a business professional and have a healthy lifestyle.
Correct.
There's nothing to say like sitting is the new cancer or sitting is the new smoking. That's what the whole
Correct.
thing is. So there's the one, there's the other, and then the last one, BS, of course. Now, in the accounting context, it's balance sheets.
Balance sheets. Don't we love balance
But
sheets?
if you really draw out the sheet part, it's like you can really do some things with that, right? So so it's any topic that comes up that just makes me just kind of roils me up. I try to stay away from the politics and all those things, because it's not a left-right thing.
Correct.
It's just a people thing.
It is.
And so from this standpoint, that's why I'm really glad you're here, because we have some history.
We do.
And I think that I want to, for the next 45 minutes, really just understand who is Bradley Moon, and we're gonna start with that conversation. Tell me something, Bradley. I would actually love to call you and have your phone put your voicemail up to that microphone, because this is a story in and of itself, my friend.
Is.
All right, set them up. I'm gonna get the so you tell the story, and I'm gonna call you and put you on the put your voicemail in there.
All right. So when Tim and I was working together, he called me for some reason. And at the time when I recorded my voicemail, it sounded, I think I might have been at a party in college, or I was kind of ducked off in a room recording it because I needed one. And it was like, hey, I'm Bradley Moon. I can't be here, so call me back. Right. And so I remember
It's not like he was being chased by the cops. It's like, I'm Bradley Moon. So please continue.
So Tim, as one of my mentors, said, Bradley, I think you should re-record your voicemail. As you're starting off in the business world, people are going to call you, and you don't want that to be the first impression when they hear you.
Right.
And so
What was the phrase that I said that they need to hear?
they want to know, like, God, this guy's awesome. He's smiling. He's a good time. Like, I want to just call him back just to listen to this.
Right.
His voicemail.
So you can say the whole point of this is this is ubiquitous across all parts of business. we engage a lot over these.
Correct.
Right. Sometimes there's the video aspect, right? So we're audio, we're also video. You can hear when we're having fun.
Absolutely.
Because our voice changes. The muscles in our mouth actually change. If you're smiling, you don't. When you're looking at someone and they're smiling, they just smile like this, and you're like, oh, that was a fake smile. It's like, oh, what did I do? I just made them mad for some reason. But if you smile with your eyes, you know, it's like, oh, okay, now I'm getting that buy-in. So, but you can hear a smile over the phone.
Correct.
And when you don't hear that kind of stretching of the vocal cords, the face, that's the instant. I deal with a lot of sales tax and state tax people in the tax organizations. And I mean, listen, it's not the most glamorous of jobs, right? Every once in a while, I'll get on the phone and I'll hear somebody smiling through the phone. I'm like, we're talking about something else. We are not talking about tax right now. Say, how is your day going? You know, because it sounds like they have pep in their step.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
Or if they're not having the best day, gosh, what an opportunity for me to, hey, you know, what's going on? And by the time we get off that phone, they hopefully have shifted from, this job's all right to, hey, you know, thanks so much. Thanks so much for being a part of my day. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, people need that. People need encouragement and just asking, how are you? You're like, hey, thank you for asking.
Yeah. And
they just share. And we really truly need community. And that's a good way to, when you're talking about smiling and doing your voicemails. So anyway,
it's little things. So I'm going to call you. So you just go ahead and shoot me off the voicemail. I'm going to throw this on speaker. Hopefully this captures because it's awesome.
This is great.
All right, here we go. Put it through the filter.
Hi, this is Bradley Moon. Sorry I couldn't make it to my phone right now, but if you leave your name, your number, and a brief message, I promise I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Does that make me want to call you back? There were times when you first did this, I said, do not answer the call. I want to listen to this again and again and again. It makes me so happy. Every time I hear that, it makes me so happy.
Interesting enough, ever since I've changed my voicemail, you'd be surprised how many people, my friends, colleagues, they're like, man, that voicemail, they always have something to say about the voicemail. Man, you truly are happy when you say it. And every time, I kid you not, Tim, they mention something about your voicemail is awesome.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. And it hasn't changed. It's the same it's been for years.
It's wonderful. No, the first one was pretty rough. That was a great mentoring moment for me. But no, actually, it's kind of funny. My voicemail, I've been having some trouble. You know this.
Yeah.
If you call my voicemail, it's basically me against Verizon because the voicemail on this phone still does not work. And like, oh, maybe it's the phone. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's not the phone because I've switched phones. It's like there's something wrong in the background of like my account or something like that. And they're like, well, let us look into it. I've had people from a lot, like VP levels looking into it. They can't fix it. I was like, you know what? It's not a big deal. People just text anyway.
Correct.
Like nobody listens to voicemails anyway.
They don't.
But if they do have to get pushed off to your voicemail, isn't it nice to give them just a little bit of sunshine through the phone?
Correct.
It tickles their ears, man.
I like that.
All right, so I need to go ahead. What you got?
No, I think about the athletes. I know we're going to talk about this a little later, but I think about my high school athletes, and you know they have these weird voicemails.
Yeah.
Like I was at a track and field meet last week, and I was calling one of my athletes, and she wasn't answering, and I got her voicemail, and it was like, "Hello, hello."
Oh no.
Hey, like what is that? What? That's not a voicemail.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I was thinking about that.
That's fantastic. The so here's so what I would like to do is I'd like to talk about these high school kids that you're training because one of the things that I really like about this biceps style of this part of the podcast is one. CPAs and financial professionals are going to hear this,
sure.
And they're going to get CPE credit for this course, right? So I want to make it as interesting as possible from a bunch of different angles, and yeah, I might ask you a couple financial questions here and there because we kind of have to go through there.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I really just want to know what's your passion because you've always done this, and what keeps you going, and then if you want to drop hints about what the future looks like, I would love a little bit of that too. So I mean. You just opened the door with your high school guys. What keeps you? What got you into this in the first place?
I would say when I fell in love with coaching was really two athletes that I had years ago. These kids are in college. One is at Stanford University and one is at Lee University. And I had these kids since they were in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that they really enjoyed track and field. And they just like, Coach, I really like this. I could be good at it. And so when I saw how much drive and discipline that they were having as a athlete and starting out as a coach, I was like, wow, I've got to get educated. I've got to learn about how to shepherd these two athletes and help them achieve a goal. And so I would say it started with these two athletes about trying to teach them and learn about how to be fast, how to take care of your body, all these different things. So what any person who wants to learn or always be learning, I got educated. I surrounded myself with coaches beyond that's been in the track and field world for 30 years, that are Olympic sprinters who have trained countless and countless of Olympians, and just shadowed them and learned and got certifications. And the neat thing about coaching, and I think this applies to the finance space and CPAs, is that you want to learn from a lot of different people. And then as you start becoming an expert in that field, you start cooking your own sauce, if you will. And so I started doing that, and it started working. And then I started learning more and learning more. And so truly my passion comes from like just developing athletes. Like I truly enjoy that piece. Like when an athlete comes in and they're raw, they don't know anything about form, they don't know about taking care of their body, eating, lifting, all these different things. It's a great opportunity for me to knock on those doors, not all at once, but in stages.
What is it about that development, that athletic developing that athlete, that really turns you on? Where does that passion come from?
That's a really great question. I think being an athlete and understanding, when I look over my life and how I got where I'm at, is really off just working hard and developing and I don't know, always just trusting the process and not giving up. I mean, when I think about my life, when I was 14 years old, I've been actively training, working out for the last, how old am I? 15 years.
Keep going.
17
Keep
years,
going.
18 years, somewhere up there. We're going to get up there.
Papa Moon.
You know, gosh. But I've been like actively doing that since I was a teenager.
Yep.
And so like actually walking through that as a teenager to a young adult and a dad and a father, husband, entrepreneur type thing, it's something that I've lived. And so when I have an athlete that comes and they're sharing that same passion, I love that. And so it really comes by my experience and what I've done and how to teach athletes about developing, and it takes time. See, we live in a generation where we can have things immediately, that microwave society I'm sure you've heard of, and teaching athletes that that's not how life works. If you want to be great at something, you've got to put in the time.
Yep, that makes sense. And so when you have an athlete that comes to you, you probably, I'm sure that you have a reputation where athletes are telling other athletes, right? Of course, they're all competitors, but from the grand scheme, hey, how did you learn? How did you not increase your time, increase your speed, but
Correct.
lower your times? How did you do all that stuff? Let me look at your form. And they talk about Coach Moon. But what about the athletes that come to you because a parent has heard about you and says, I want my son or daughter to be the best at what they do? What's the difference in that kind of athlete that comes to you? The one that hears it from their friends and says, Mom and Dad, I want to do this, or the parent that says, I want you to train my athlete?
When parents approach me, it's more from like they've heard all about the good things about from an athletic standpoint, but the person that individual has become. So I would see parents or want me to be around their kids from a mentorship standpoint. That I had one parent that said, look, he likes track and field, but I just want you to be around him.
That's cool.
And so I'm supposed to mentor and help these high school kids get to where they need to go. So in that perspective, parents see it more as a mentorship where they're learning about discipline, grit. Sometimes things doesn't work out the way they should, but how do you navigate through that? It's so beneficial for high schoolers.
Yeah.
I mean, just not for high school, but for anyone.
Sure.
So a lot of parents send their kids because of that aspect. And then by doing that, they're going to get better. I completely know what I'm doing.
Yeah. No, that's good.
And I know on a long-term scale from an athletic standpoint and just a mental and spiritual aspect that these kids, that we're planting something inside them. So, I mean, a lot of the athletes that I have came from other athletes, friends, parents that just heard, oh, you know about Coach Mo? Oh, yeah, I know him. You need to send the kids, and they just do it. They don't ask questions.
Do they? Some of your we call them kids, students.
Students, yeah.
I do this all the time. I'm older than all the students.
Yeah.
And, I even tell them, I was like, look, I don't mean to be patronizing or condescending, but you guys are literally kids to me. So I apologize if I do call you kids. But you have these students that come to you, and you keep going back to high school. Do you also train middle school?
No, I don't.
Okay, so high school. There's a reason why.
Funny story. So I used to work with middle school kids and younger.
Okay.
Then I realized they don't want to be out. They're just out here running around, and I don't want to be here. And I said, you know what? I'm not the coach.
Some interns like that.
I'm not the one that wants to do that. I love track and field too much. I love developing too much. So I focus on high school kids specifically because they can make a decision. I want to be out here, and that is a good period to get someone in their athletic development. Middle school, I'll leave that alone. They're too young. They don't really know. But when they're getting high school, I found that they want to train. They're seeking. They're saying, hey, coach, I want to do this. And so I focus on high school just because they're more mature, if you will, and I leave middle school alone. I've had parents ask, can you coach my 6-7-year-old? Nah, they're a little young. Maybe when they get a little older, I'll be the right fit for him.
And that's an athlete maturity thing. It's not so much that you want to turn away the possible revenue there.
Correct.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. So you've had some people actually go off to the collegiate ranks, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
so what does that look like? Do you lose touch with them? Do you continue to train them in the summers and the springs? Like, how does that work?
Usually I'll get them in the summer. They'll pop in, but when they go off to college, I keep checking them once a month. I'll reach out to them just to see how they're doing because we've built a lot of good relationships. But when they get off to college, they have their college coaches. Sure. They have all these different things. So as a coach, you kind of stay out of that because you respect that coach who is shepherding them at the collegiate level. And when they come back, they say, hey, these are my workouts. Could you help me and kind of plan it out? And so it's really been good just to see how they've grown. And so with the college athlete, I work with them in the summer, give or take. But it's been really fun just to see how they grow and things of that nature.
Yeah, a lot of times when I look at so not from the athletic side, no, obviously working with the Bananas, there are young athletes that come in all the time. Some of them had dreams of making it big. Some of them actually did make it big, and then they decided they didn't want to hang up the cleats. Mm-hmm. They had a little bit of flair and panache, which is what we always look for, right? So can you please just not be that typical athlete?
Correct.
That knows they're really good at what they do, and just doesn't have time for the people that are making you. They're the ones paying your check, right?
Correct.
And there seems to be, specifically inside professional sports, there's something about being told you're amazing throughout your entire life that you really start to wear that. Mm-hmm. And so where do you come across and help these? And you played football as well.
Correct.
So I mean, track is where you are now, mm-hmm. And sprinting specifically, right?
Correct.
But when you have an athlete that kind of comes in with that chip on their shoulder, how do you teach them how to be humble?
Track and field, I want to talk about track and field, how there's someone always faster than you. Mm. And so the environment that we've created with the athletes that I coach is getting them in front of like athletes or sprinters that are some of the best in the state of Georgia or some that are in the best in the country. Mm. And when they have a chip on their shoulder, well, you know, I'm the best, you know, I beat the local, you know, down in Calhoun or Gordon Central, whatever. I beat all these kids, right? And okay, cool. That's great. But let's see how you do with some athletes that are in the Atlanta area, the best in the state of Georgia, and just see how you do. Then that humble pie sometimes comes quicker than you think. And then you start evaluating, oh man, maybe I'm not as good as I think, or maybe I am. But you give them an experience to really test them out to see where do they stand. And then you learn so much about an individual when you get at a stage, when you're competing at a junior Olympic meet and you see 1,000 kids who look like you, stronger than you, bigger than you, and these jokers can run, jump, and throw. How do you navigate that? And then you see where this athlete is. And then as a coach, you see how they respond. And then you can start diving into, hey, this is a good thing that you got beat. Now we have to keep working on the mental. We got to keep working on this. So creating an environment where put them out of their comfort zone and see how they respond. I love doing that. That's when he goes back to developing. How do we develop athletes? How do we develop students? Put them in certain situations where it's a little bit uncomfortable and see how they respond.
Because you're developing athletes, you're developing students, but you're developing a human.
Correct.
Right. That while you may be extremely adept in the athletic realm, there are other things you may not always be able to run fast. You may not always be able to jump high. If that goes away,
correct,
what do you have left? Right. So tell me about some of the challenges that you've seen, or maybe some celebrations that you've had where you've had athletes finally get it, and maybe they've come back and success stories. Sure. There might be some that are just washed out, had to hit rock bottom in order to really identify, okay, it's time for me to start pick up the bootstraps and go again. Because I know that as a coach, specifically as an athletic coach, you deal probably more with the mental side of the business than you do the physical side.
Correct.
Just dive into that for me.
So I'll start with a challenge. One of the athletes that actually went to Lee University, he's there now, Cooper, he had a really great junior season, and we were like on cloud nine.
Junior high school, junior college?
Excuse me, yeah, junior high school.
Oh, junior high school, okay.
Thank you for clarifying. And he had a great year. And then senior year, we were like, okay, this is just a stepping stone. Man, we're about to blow through this. We're going to do all this and that. And it didn't happen. And we trained harder. We did all these different things, but nothing was working. And as a coach, when I look back at that, it was really hard for me because as I'm a competitor, I want to improve these athletes because that makes me look better as a coach and helps more clients and things of that nature. And so I had a challenge with him because I had to figure out, like, why isn't this happening? We're doing all the right things, but why isn't this happening? And his mental wasn't there. He's like, I'm not running well. I'm not doing these things. And the Lord had to show me that this is a season where it's not going to be great. But as a coach, I have to keep encouraging him, say, look, this is the season that we're in. We're just going to have to keep working through it. Like, yes, when I look back, there are so many mistakes that I made when it came to how I approached with the training and some other things. But one thing that I felt that I did a decent job was in keeping encouraging him to push through. And just dealing with that and teaching him, hey, look, you're going to get through this. And when you go off to college, hopefully it'll be better. That's what we kept wishing.
There you go.
Senior year was not good.
There you go.
But his freshman year in college at Lee, he already improved his personal best in the 200, the 400, and the 100. And I remember him calling me. He said, Coach, I'm back.
Nice.
Nice. How
does that feel?
It feels amazing because what he just learned is that there are seasons and valleys that happen in our lives. And he got to experience that his senior year in high school. But he didn't waver. He just kept knocking at the door.
Yeah, and from an athletic standpoint, that's the one time you don't want to have a valley, because that's when all the scouts are there.
Correct.
So, oh my goodness, what an amazing story. So okay, I'm going to take this back to the accounting side because that's where I live. So in teaching accounting, this is one of the things that I really struggle with because, well, I'll go like the shorter days, right?
Yeah.
So at the shorter days, we know a lot of the same athletes that came through the same time you did, the basketball players, football players, what have you. And I had a bunch of soccer players, right? But they would come in and they were taking the course specifically because it was it was part of the business regimen.
Correct.
They had to take accounting, right? Which is always it's always the way it is. Like, oh, I got to take this accounting course, and everybody thinks accounting is hard because the people in front of them said it's hard, or that professor stinks, or this book is too expensive.
I'm never going to use this.
That's exactly what they say.
I'm never going to use this in my
Until
profession.
you sign that contract. Saying, hey, Dr. Naddy, come over here. It's like well, you should have paid attention to class. Oh, no. Oh, it's just math. No, it's not just math.
No.
So what's interesting here, though, is that the feeling that you got when he said, I'm back, I'm sure that you got chills, that your heart like almost exploded.
Correct.
Because that is the same feeling that I get when I am teaching somebody a concept. It's so nerdy. Nerd. I'm teaching somebody a concept in accounting. Keep going. It's fine. It's fine. Yep, that's it. So
That's what he just did.
and they finally get it. It's like finally that you could see it in their eyes that the light turns on. They're like, oh my gosh! And once that turn happens, now they become a force to be reckoned with. It's
Correct.
like everything starts falling into place. All that stuff that they said, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. This book is stupid. My parents are stupid. All I got to do is I just need to get C's, get degrees. Like, no, you're on the bench with a C. So, but all of a sudden. It turns on, and I'm thinking of one particular student that we had at Shorter. You would remember his name, but he came in with that kind of mentality, and the entire professor group basically got around him and said, we're gonna make him push through this. And come to find out, when he graduated with an accounting degree, a bachelor's in accounting degree, he was beside himself. But I'm sure he's doing fantastically today. One, because he pushed through the curriculum, but also he was able to balance all those things out, and nobody gave up on him.
Correct.
And I think that's something that is really pivotal when you start talking about coaching. A lot of people like to just kind of throw that out. I'm a coach. Are you a coach? Are you the one that's going to pick up the phone when somebody calls at 3 a.m. in the morning and says,
Correct.
I've got a problem, we need to talk? Are you going to just send it off to voicemail? Are you the person that's going to pick it up and be like, hey man, where can I meet you for coffee?
Correct.
That's what a coach does.
And I think too that this generation, they see BS when like early.
Oh, they read it fast.
They read it
Oh, yeah.
fast. They know that, does this coach really care about me? You know, is he or she doing these things? And they can call BS real quick. But when they know that they have someone that's truly like there for them, regardless of if they perform well, that they're just in their corner because they care, they latch on. And they want to be a part of anything and everything that coach is doing.
And that's not just in athletics.
Yeah.
We get that in athletics all
Correct.
the time because
Correct.
you always have that one person who's pushing, striving, hoping, encouraging, right? And you've seen the videos. I mean, working with the Bananas, we get videos all the time of what not to do in travel baseball.
Correct.
Of the dad kind of freaking out, the mom that's goofing off in the backstop and yelling and doing all this stuff. Umpires behaving badly, things like that.
Correct.
Where it's like, guys, you're missing the point. These are 12-year-old boys and girls who just want to have fun with the game, and you're destroying it. And and it's all because because somebody gets a wild hair and they decide they want to take it out on something, and that something is that 12-year-old kid. Coaching, in the athletic sense, is probably the most pure from the standpoint of the relationship.
Sure.
But it easily falls over into the business world.
Correct.
And what I found is that this is like Tim statistics, okay? So you can't go out and say this is anybody. Someone's probably written a paper on this, but I'll have to find it. If you take that kind of mentality, that coaching mentality, where the encouraging, lift yourself up, accountability,
Correct.
right? It's not that we're
That's
giving you a way out, but you do something wrong. You know what? We all make mistakes.
Correct.
You do it wrong again. It's like, okay, now we need to have a correction conversation, right? Not anything unlike making sure you drag your feet out of the blocks. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if I want someone to come in and kick up all my carpets,
You're going to call me.
I'm going to call you, the side quest. So Bradley, he actually introduced me to a whole world of like sprinters. And sprinters, when they come out of the blocks, and now correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure you will because I'm usually wrong about this. When you come out of the blocks, you want to drag your feet because one, it keeps the frame or the momentum lower, the center of gravity lower. Explain it.
So you see this a lot on TikTok, and kids love it, about the toe drag.
The toe drag.
And really what the actual thing is heel recoveries. You want low heel recovery. So by dragging your foot through, like when you're scraping the track, it's because the lower your foot is in the initial push out the blocks, you're able to put the foot down quicker.
All right.
And so the toe drag, the proper way is low heel clearance, excuse me.
Right.
And it's the point of putting you right in the right position to accelerate.
Do me a favor. We're on YouTube. Get on the table. Show me the drag. Go ahead, come on, jump up there. Yeah. This is a stable table. We're good. Show me a drag. Because I think what people need to understand what we're talking about here.
On the table?
Yeah, get on that table and show me what a drag looks like when you
You want me to get on the table?
Get on the table.
Like this 165 pound
believe me,
person?
this table is stout.
Wow.
Jump on this table. Show me what
wow.
you're talking about because I want
right
people
here?
to get up there.
Oh my goodness.
Come on.
Let me move this up.
No, this is really important because one, this is the frustration. Just roll up there.
Oh my
Go ahead.
gosh.
Oh my goodness. Booty to the camera and everything.
Look at this.
All right, jump on up.
All right, so
Because the camera's here, so you need to face this way. Here we
Which
go.
way
I'm
I need
gonna
to turn?
jump out of the way, and you're gonna do your thing. Here, I'm gonna get this out of the way. So
turn
turn
around?
this way so they can see sideways. All right.
oh
now.
wow,
All right.
This table is.
It's nice, right? That's it.
It is.
Hey,
My
the
goodness.
Georgia
You got an
Society of
extra
CPAs, we don't mess around. We have good furniture.
You got an extra one, bro?
All right. So now, when you are dragging your toe, can you show people how you drag that toe?
So when you're down here, this is a ready position. So,
All right.
And so when they say set, you raise up. And then you push out, and I don't have a whole lot of room, but I'm gonna pretend that I've got a couple meters in front.
Okay.
So when I raise up and I push out,
Yeah.
you want triple extension through this hip, okay? And so by dragging the foot or
Yeah.
low heel clearance, you pull it through like that.
And that's the foot drag that you're talking
That's
about.
the foot drag that I'm talking about.
All right, great. Jump off the table.
Wow.
Yeah, was that great?
My goodness.
Yeah, tell you what,
Man,
you're really
my
good at this.
goodness.
Anywhere you go, you can jump on the table, show somebody the foot drag.
That's pretty good. You know, I got up there, didn't have no problem.
It's stout. Georgia side of CPAs, we know how to buy furniture. So now
goodness.
why is that important?
It's important because typically what happens in developmental athletes, when they come out the blocks, they like to lift their foot and then cycle and put it down.
And why do they do that? Like, what's the mental thing? What's the physiology behind that?
Most athletes at that level, they haven't been coached properly to do it, or they just have bad mechanics. And so you really have to teach that into them by pushing their hips through, triple extension through the hip, and then naturally the foot will drag, or low heel clearance, as I keep saying. So teaching that. And so what happens is, if me and you are sprinting, and we are the same speed, same everything built and everything, we're even across the board. We're apples to apples. But if you come out the blocks and you drag your toe, all right, and I lift my foot and cycle it through in front of me, you already have a step ahead of me.
So one foot is coming this way, the other one's going like this. So it's like it's microseconds.
Yes, and that matters.
But it matters.
It matters because on the same playing field, we're the same athletically, same time, same everything. In that movement in itself, that separates you.
So you remember our buddy who does the Mike out in what's the
Zybeck.
Yeah, Zybeck Sports. So he would take the camera, or he'd take pictures of people coming off the 40. So guys, Zybeck Sports is the ones. If you see the timing systems on like ABC and ESPN and what have you for the draft. I'm sorry, not the draft. The combine.
Combine, correct.
So that's all his equipment, and so he plugs that. The times that are coming up on TV are actually the times that are coming up on his equipment.
Correct.
And so anybody over the last 12 years?
He's been doing it a long time.
Yeah. He is the timing system. And it's a laser timing system. It's badass. We're not going to joke around it. But what's interesting is that he takes photos at it's like 4 or 5 photos right off the bat.
Correct.
He probably has more, but there's only 4 or 5 that he says really move the needle, because it can show not only the balance of the athlete from head-on perspective, but like what you're saying, look at the toe, look at the knee, look at the hip placement, and if it's not aligned, if it's not, and again, I'm talking about.
No, you're good.
Yeah, then you can get more efficient.
Correct.
And so the thought is that if you can identify what those are before you go to the combine,
correct,
I can shave 0.5 seconds off your 40, or I can help you get another couple, an inch and a half on vert.
Correct.
Things that matter when you're on a playing field of elite athletes.
Correct.
Right. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, it really is. And so with that toe drag is really the effect is coming from the hip. So if you actually have triple extension through the hip, naturally that toe will drag.
You need to get a nerd thing, because that was super nerdy in an athletic, cool way. Yeah.
That's the thing. It's not like, oh, I'm thinking about just moving my foot. No, but if you push your hips through, that foot naturally comes through.
Okay, so that makes sense in a weird kind of way, but to think that your power is coming from your hip, not necessarily where the ankle is.
Correct.
Where people think, they're probably thinking it's coming from the calf muscles, right?
It's not.
It's not.
Usually.
Go ahead.
No, I have a massage therapist, and he talks about usually when
Is he strong?
Yeah, he's a strong guy.
Yeah.
And we were
really
talking
gets in there.
He gets in there.
Okay.
But I think it's important to talk. I think it's important to talk about. Usually, and this is talking about pain. Usually, where we feel pain isn't where it's coming from.
Oh, okay. Expand.
So he was saying that usually, if it's here, it could be coming from the other side or things of that nature, and it's like that is just the cause of, that is the effect of where it's coming. So like if it's coming in this side, if the pain is in your shoulder here, it's probably coming from somewhere else.
Okay.
And it's just you feel it here. I don't know.
That's interesting to say that, because so my dad had to have knee surgery, but he had the knee surgery and still had pain in his knee. It was his hip.
It's his hip.
Yeah.
Correct. And that's what I mean when I know that kind of took a turn, but sharing those little things about the toe drag is it's the hip that pulls it through. Same way with pain. When we have pain, like you said with your dad in the knee, is not the knee, it was the hip. So you help the hip, the knee gets better. So that's why where the pain, where you feel it ain't where the cause or the actual root of the issue.
I find this stuff absolutely fascinating. But one, physiology was one of my favorite courses in high school, just because we got to lay down and draw, like outline a body, and then put in the lungs and put in the circulatory system and the endocrine system. Yeah, there's a bunch of those. And the excretory system. That was a fun one. I have 3 boys at home, so I mean, you got the excretory system. They tout that all day long. No, what I find fascinating about the human body is the way that like homeostasis is real, and it'll take a beating, but then after a while it says you better lay off or we're gonna have a problem.
Correct.
So like people thinking that I really want to shift this conversation into okay, sprinting is one thing, right? And it's great. Everybody should learn how to sprint.
Correct.
It's like my wife says, everybody should learn. Like I should be able to squat. Like I'm out on the plains or something. It's like, yeah, but that hurts my knees. She goes, that's because you're inflexible. It's like, but when in the world am I going to need to do that? Like, is the apocalypse coming? is it like there's going to be some nuclear devastation where I'm going to have to be like get seeds or something out of the ground, find worms, whatever it is. It's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get on all fours. We're going to go for it. I'll put my face in there before. The idea though is that the proper way of balancing out what's in your body, and it is the same thing. I try to tell people at work, and I work with a lot of young kids, again, not kids, adults,
young
kids
adults.
kids to me,
yeah, kids to you. Yeah.
They're wondering why. It's like, hey, how can you power through a summer of being on the road and being all these different travel engagements, what have you, and like, how come you don't look like you're tired? I was like, well, I don't go out drinking till 2 a.m. And you know, when I wake up at 6 a.m, I may only get like six hours of sleep, but it's good sleep.
Correct.
You know, and so but the alcohol just, oh my gosh, it crushes. And people don't realize it. When you're young, it's just like your body just goes, it's gone, right? When you're older, you start smelling like that dude in the gym. That's like, ugh. So there's a reason why I can't. There's certain liquors I cannot drink because I smell like that guy.
When you get older, that stuff hurts. Like when, like I have some friends of ours that want to get together and they want to go out and drink. It's like, man, like I'm tired. I want to go home. This stuff hurts.
Have you seen Nate Bargatze's stand up on this?
No, I have not.
Oh my gosh, I'm not going to ruin it because I'm not one of those guys. But you go find this. He talks about going out in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. It is gold. That guy is super funny.
That stuff hurts, man.
It really does.
You don't want to do that. I want to be in bed at 9:30.
You know, one of the things that I found. One of the things that I found is from the alcohol is that it's not so much like the body feel, like, because I can definitely feel it in a workout the following day.
Sure.
And by the way, if I do have a night of drinking, I'll jump on a treadmill and I'll make sure I get a good 20 minutes of just getting all those things out of my body, right? And I do smell like a homeless person. It's awful. It's like what I smell like ammonia, and it's like, man, someone in here smells. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I drank Tito's last night. No. So, but what I really have noticed is that my eyes. It's like I can't get my eyes open because it's like they're dry, and I'm thinking that alone is enough for me to go, forget it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, interestingly, when I drink Jameson and or Guinness, no problems.
You know why,
But
right?
I do know why. Because it's the mother's milk.
That's right.
Straight from the teeth. I'm telling you, man. I love it. So I'm hoping to do this on location somewhere in Ireland, and hopefully from St. James Gate Brewery.
Oh my goodness.
And maybe you need to come with me.
I'm telling you, it'd be fun.
It's a wonderful elixir of life. So between Redcon 1 and Arthur Guinness's, oh my gosh, could you imagine? That's a meal replacement in itself. I'll tell you what. No, all I'm saying is that when you get into this environment and you're dealing with younger people who think they know it all, I get it. I was there. I didn't listen to that 45-year-old guy.
No.
You know, because I have a story. When I was in Tallahassee, I was going to a men's Bible study in the morning, and there was this guy. His name's Richard, and he would come up. They would always get donuts, and I always thought it was funny that they got donuts because you look around the room, it's like, there's a lot of doughy dudes in here, right? And it's like, this is the 6 a.m., it's coffee and donuts and things. I'm thinking, so I would go over to the donuts, and being, younger, I could smoke these things down because I'm hungry.
Correct.
When you're young, you're hungry, right?
Hungry.
I've got 3 boys. They eat everything inside. They're like moths inside of like a wool closet. But so I'm eating these, and this guy, Richard, comes out and he goes, hey, Naddy, I don't know how you do it. Of course, this guy is now, probably mid-40s, right? Okay. And I looked at him, and I probably have like glaze on my face or like sprinkles or something. I'm like, what? Well, do what? And he's like, eat all those donuts. How can you get away and stay so thin? It's like, what are we on? Like a 2 a.m. infomercial? It's like, is this going to be in black and white and then it's going to pop into color or something? I looked at him, I was like, Rich, I'm 26. And he just kind of laughed as if I was being like cocky. But the point is, I'm 26, man.
Correct.
I just ate that donut. I have metabolized it like that.
Correct.
You don't metabolize things that fast anymore.
No.
But taking it away from food and what have you, stress.
Correct.
Cortisol,
Yep.
Inflammation.
Correct.
All of these things that a healthy diet can actually avoid.
Yep.
And it's you figure out what things you can and can't take, right?
Correct.
But for the most part, if there's certain stressors that you're having throughout the day, I almost guarantee you it's because of what you're putting in your body to fuel it.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard this stat. It's not about if 80% is the diet, 20% is like actual physical working out and what you put in your body, because what you store and what you eat, that's how the body shapes in different things. So I mean, you're right to that. It's so
well, I know
key.
I'm right.
See, he knows. I don't have to tell him.
No, it's one of those things where, again, looking from a coaching perspective and from Sprint Free Training, right?
Correct.
So it's Bradley Moon at sprintfreetraining.com. I went to your website. It looks good. In fact, that thing you just did on the table, that's you, right?
Yeah, it is.
Woo! Tell you what, look at the long legs.
Oh my
got the
God.
sinews in there. Tell me about how high the on the lower leg the calf muscle is. How fast that person is. You told me this one time about the length of the Achilles and having to do with speed.
Yeah, so it's the Achilles tendon, depending on how long it is, it shows that individual is very elastic.
Okay.
So sprinters are elastic because sprinting is like it's like bounding or kind of jumping along the track. And so when you see a calf, to your point, the higher the calf, that means typically they're sprinters. Right?
Okay.
Higher the calf, that means they're sprinting. The one that's kind of a longer, it could be they've been around doing a lot of long distance training, things of that nature. So you can see right off the bat with that calf how high it is.
So the calf actually develops in those environments like that.
Correct.
That's so fascinating.
And so typically when you see the Achilles tendon and how long it is, it's elastic, and that's what you want. That's why when you talk about range of motion and movement and flexibility, those are really important things when you're talking about sprinting, because you need to be more efficient and you have to put your body in the full ranges of motion in order to be efficient. And if there are some inefficiencies in the body, then that can limit, your performance, and also can lead to injuries.
Yeah. And injuries are horrible.
Correct.
Nothing like being an athlete and then having to sit out to doing what you love, because this is our stress reliever.
Correct.
Right? So one of the things that I thought was, again, I got to tell the story because we did this whole thing for a reason. So Bradley decided that he and I worked together at a former business, and our offices were right next to each other, and we had carpets on the ground, square carpets that were laid out just so, because I'm an accountant and that's just how we do things. Type A, everything's in its right position, right? And so every time Bradley would come in, he'd just pop out of his office. Our doors were right next to each other. Pop out of his office, come into my office. Literally every single time he would come in, the corner of that carpet would be ripped up off the ground. And I would look at him, I was like, man, will you pick up your feet? And he's like, gotta drag your feet, gotta drag your feet, gotta drag your toes. And I'm thinking, someday that's gonna come back to bite you. And so now we were talking about Oliver, 15 months, right?
11, 12 months.
Yeah, kid's walking around dragging his toes. And I'm hoping, in a good way.
In a good way, yeah.
I want him to rip up a little bit of carpet with those toes, and then so Bradley will finally know what it feels like to be on this receiving end.
Gotta shuffle.
The receiving end, man. No. So hey, listen. Get real quick. Tell me a little bit about your business, how I can contact you, how other parents, financial professionals, if they want you to coach, stand on their tables in the middle of boardrooms, show the toe drag maneuver. How do we get in contact with you?
Easiest way, website, sprintfreetraining.com, Instagram, Sprint Free Training. You can find me there. I'm really active on Instagram, and that's the way they can find me.
And if they want to listen to your voicemail, you gonna throw that out there?
Maybe not.
Email me first.
Yeah, email me first.
Slide in my DMs.
Yes, I like that.
All
Slide
right.
into my DMs at Sprint Free Training on Instagram. But it's a platform where we're able to train local kids. We have systems in place where we actually train online. We've got a couple kids in Wisconsin, Texas, New York, and so it's building out a system where we can give value not just to local athletes, but even people who aren't in front of us.
That's awesome.
And I'm excited. I won't touch on it. I'll just briefly touch on it. Hopefully in the fall we'll have an application that can serve these online athletes a lot better. So I'm excited about that, and hopefully in the fall we'll be able to release that.
So yeah, I noticed you dropped entrepreneur earlier. So I'm looking forward to having it. So are you gonna come back?
I'll come back. Yeah.
Was this fun?
This was great.
Are you gonna tell your friends it was fun?
It was, man.
Okay.
It was fun, man. Then you got me when you put me on the table. I was like, this man wants me to come put on the table. I'm like, really, man? Gosh, escalated really fast.
We're accountants. I mean, we don't do things like that, right?
Yeah, they were like, did you see that? Did you see Bradley on that table? Did you see that?
Hey man, I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me, Tim.
Good luck with you.
Thank you.
All right.